Hey, I'm shopping at the Safeway in my area. I'm trying to go shopping. I just came from work. I spent some time in the shop and while try to get rid of some smell that by accident I made by spraying some Lysol, some disinfectant. Uh, I spent a couple of hours there, maybe 2 hours, doing nothing, just reading my Facebook and some stupid stuff. And also, since I'm here, I want to show you something. So you see these buildings? These are all new, brand new. So there's a lift behind me. So there's this building behind me is under construction, and to me it looks like it's going to be a professional building. I don't know, but the building here and the building there, if you walk down the street, you won't see many white people. Asians, Chinese mostly. And it's not cheap. I can tell you it's not cheap to live in here. Of course, I've seen new faces shopping here. This is a new shopping area. I've seen some white people, but the ones I saw, of course, among regulars like myself, I've seen some strange faces. Like the world around here is changing, and see all these new buildings. It's like last year they started occupying those buildings last year. Like I said, full of Asian, Chinese. So I'm not saying that because I'm concerned. I'm not concerned at all about the corona and stuff. It's just this guy Trump tweeted today or yesterday that he said something because of this Chinese virus. So he is either not thinking before he's tweeting out something. It's like sometimes I do that, like just pick out, which is I'm a little bit different. But Trump, he is leading a nation, and probably you should check out his tweets or double check or check with some counseling guy, counselor or someone like a political counselor. Hey, if I say that, if I blame the Chinese for the virus, like infecting the world, what is going to happen? Unless he does that on purpose to create hate and division, make people hate the Asians. And if he managed to do that, is going to spread the hate is going to spread through Canada, but it will coincide with the infection spread in Canada, because right now Canada it's fine. It has maybe 100 something cases, right? Or maybe 300 something cases. So, but there are many more car accidents every day. Nobody talks about because they don't sell anymore. But now the media outlets sell this COVID-19 disease news, and so by the time the virus gets to Canada and is going to affect lots of people, people get to emotions, and very deep emotions, especially if you lose someone or if you have someone in a hospital and you hope that person might recover. So it touches very deeply inside of people's hearts. So now people try to blame someone for whatever it happened to them. Like if you get a car accident, okay, it's my fault. No, it's not my fault. It's the other party fault. Oh yeah, I drove too fast, but he was supposed to drive fast as me or something. You know, it's many times it's the other person's fault. It's not you. So those people would look. Oh yeah. Trump was right. You look, so many Chinese live around me. Okay, that's why I got infected, because these guys from China came here, moved to Vancouver, and bought all these properties which I cannot afford, and they brought the virus, they brought the dirty money, all that stuff. So people are going to have this type of artificial hate and like created hate in their heads towards Asians, towards Chinese, and that's, I think, to me, it shows it's a targeted message. Targeted, how to say it? It's with a tricky, sneaky intent to create division, and I will not describe in this recording why. It's like, why would you want the whole world to hate China? Why would you want China to fail economically? And if economically, of course, militarily comes after that, right? So why would you want that? So you guess. So about this guy, this Trump guy, this recording is not about Donald Trump. It's about other topic. It's about the virus. But I want to touch the mass media manipulation. So there is a documentary about him on Netflix. It describes how he used a company in London, based in London, who manipulated people's opinion on Facebook by buying or by using profiles, like Facebook profiles of people in the United States. So Facebook sold them profiles of their users, and these ones, they use this profiling to custom make political ads, because what they do, they use the people psychology, knowing that people want to listen and read what they already know or believe in. So if I believe that let's say China is doing something, let's say building nuclear weapons or something. So if I have this information, if someone gives me that information, makes me feel an emotion, makes me feel good, that it confirms what I already know. And also I want to stick with people who share the same opinion. So why is that? Because people are built, genetically built. It's a trick built in by the creator to keep people united, so make the group stronger. So people stick to groups who have the same ideology. So people who are in tune, people who think the same way. Because when you follow a group or belong to a group that is in tune with you, or you're in tune with them, you feel that your emotions are amplified, right? So let's say if I go flying, I'm not going to try to convince or to fly with someone who doesn't really like flying. Is just there because probably the parents paid the flying school or paid the flying, and they don't really like. So when we fly, we enjoy the same emotions, and the emotions amplify, and helping each other with information, with tricks, with help in case of something doesn't go right. Same with other groups. Let's say hunters, they hunt together, they act together, they share information, they have fun together, so it makes the group stronger. Same with political parties. So people who want to belong or adhere or vote for a political party, they have the same type of thinking, and makes that group stronger. So it's a genetic, it's a built-in. And so based on this ones, that company in London, they use psychologists and all those experts to manipulate these profiles, like people profiling, and they created custom ads, and everyone in the States, or everyone, like lots of people in the United States, got ads on their Facebook page to make them like giving the user a message about Donald Trump or whatever his party, a message that is making their own belief sound right, but according to whatever that company wanted that this user to believe, but to favor Donald Trump party and Donald Trump himself. So even let's say you are not in favor of this guy, they give you some information that you love to hear because you already know, but makes you believe that, oh yeah, especially those who were on the fringe, on the edge, on the fence. So those were mostly targeted because it was not worth to spend money on those who already wanted to vote for Donald Trump, but they wanted to get more voters. So those who were like, I'm here and I don't know, I'm with this party or I'm with that party, okay? So you need just a little bit of a push. It's like a girl, you know what, I kind of like that guy, you know, but if he doesn't tell me that he loves me, you know, I'll move on or something. But if the guy makes a step, I love you, well, right? Oh, she loves to hear that. The same with those voters, you know, they wanted to hear something and they heard through Facebook targeted ads. So that's the way mass media and printed media outlets manipulate your point of view, your opinion, and you are too tired or you are not interested to fact check to see, okay, where this information come from. So anyway, so I'm going to the point of the recording. Maybe those noises are actually that's an electronic computer. It has a power supply, but you see the pigeons are here. Oh, and they put a speaker. And maybe for ads, because the pigeons don't wake up. Yeah. Maybe for ads. I have no idea. So sometimes people waste money on different technologies that even vaccines that don't really do the job. But if someone in the sales department of the company who makes those devices has a good speech and meets the right person who has the purchasing power or is the decision maker, guess what? Someone makes a sale and the economy moves. So the point of the recording is about an article posted in Washington Post, a trustworthy source of information. See, this noise is electronic. I'm telling you. You think it's something like oh yeah, it's from that electronic. It's one on the wall. Yeah, it's an electronic box that simulates something, but the pigeons don't give a crap. Yeah, so many times these media outlets, the big ones, buy a news if it's a big news, and they model it. If they have a financial interest, they model it. Sometimes they censor it, like they used to do in the communism, and the communists were no different than socialists and capitalists. All are humans, led by the same desires and emotions and stuff. So these news are being modeled, changed a bit, and resold. And now let's say if one news about an event is being sold to 5 big outlets and people all read those, the news become the truth. So they model the truth because you think, okay, that source tell me this, the same thing, the other source, the same thing, the other source. So probably it's true. But nobody knows that there is a big media outlet, a big conglomerate of media outlets that control all that information, especially when it's about major events of the world. And especially when they want to deal with interfering to interfere with political system, right? So it is illegal, but it's done all the times. And you are the thief if you get caught. But if the politicians who want to control the masses, the public, have control over the let's say, who take care of laws, the order, so they can control, who's checking that, who's doing that. So this Washington Post posted or reposted information about this COVID-19 disease with a nice simulation, mathematical simulation. And I read the whole article, and it tells you that what you see on the screen is a mathematical simulation, and it is different on your screen than other people because it's random numbers. So it's pretty nice software that gives you scenarios. What happens if you do social isolation, if you do this, or if you do that. So give you different scenario, and they compare these scenarios, and the best outcome is after social isolation, which works well for the media, because what happens when you keep people in the houses. So I'm not saying this is the stupid thing to keep people in the house. Probably the best thing to keep people in the house, isolate people, prevent people from from connecting to each other. But the thing is, it's now the only source of information for people is the media, because they need to socialize, they need to connect. That's human nature, it's part of their genetics. And now the only source of information is Facebook or these big media outlets. And now these guys, they decide what to funnel into people's minds, because they have total control. Once you keep people isolated, people don't share personal experiences, don't share different other sources, and people are, almost everyone is connected, especially in the big cities. And now they want to connect even more and even faster through the 5G networks. So if you isolate people and you manipulate people and keep people in the house, in their box, they get addicted to the gadgets, to the speed, to whatever. So you can transform people into zombies within a couple of years. That's very easy. So I'm quite sure if this is a very well organized manipulation, mass manipulation, they use some psychology experts because they can afford that, and they get this answer: how to make people work for us, how to make people be the best robots, the cheap robots, how to funnel information that we want them to believe until we change their reality. And so going back to that article, because that was the reason, but I generally go around, and that's my brain. It's not really well organized. I'm sorry about that, but that's me. That's one of the uniqueness of people. We are all different, so I'm unique in my way, and you are unique in your way. And if you want to go by the new concept of one world, one leader, then nobody is going to be very unique. And that's the idea. Having everyone the same and manipulate it easy to control. Like with the Chinese, they are communists, they all look the same, they act very similarly, and it's easier to control because it's 1 billion something people, 1.3 billion people now. If everyone was to be different, would be very, very hard to do things and achieve things. But if you use mass control and mass manipulation, then of course it makes the government job much easier. So then I'll let you go. I need to go shopping. About this numbers and simulations on the Washington Post, in case you find it on the internet, that simulation and that article, I can tell you those numbers are meant to scare you and to tell you, to suggest you that that's the only way, that social isolation is the best method to stop the virus. So what they tell you, because to me this appears to be a controlled, suggestive article. It could be true. It could be true. It could be the best way. I can't argue that. I'm not an expert, but what I can say, and I can argue, that those numbers are too high. Why? Because those balls, when they move on the screen, which they made up a disease called simulitis. It's a mathematical based disease showing how the normal infection disease spread around. So they say this person touches that person, that touches that person. So every time that ball, which represents a person, touches another ball in the screen, it spreads the infection. But in the real world, it's not like that. It's far from being like that. So if you touch a person, doesn't mean you get infected. Even with this coronavirus, you will not get infected unless you exchange some liquids that goes into your bloodstream, on your nose, somehow gets into your fluids. So it's not that, of course, if that person is breathing in your face or something like that, but if you just touch someone in the bus, and if you come home and wash your hands, then you're safe. And also with proper hygiene and information, people should not be worried about that article, because it shows some big spikes and exponential growth of the disease and stuff. Yeah, it might make sense, but the thing is, it's not going to happen like in that mathematical representation in real life. It's going to be some delay, which buy people time. So why it's important to buy time? Some people come up with some idea that you should have the infection now sooner than later because of some economical bullshit. Everyone has their own theory. I'm not promoting any theory, but it's an opinion which I'm not promoting. I could be totally wrong. Let's say, consider me, I'm a construction worker, which I'm not a construction worker, but consider me, I'm a construction worker. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm stupid, I'm idiot. So you watch it just as entertainment. And I don't even know to speak English, so consider I'm some stupid immigrant who's trying to speak English, and I have no idea what I'm talking about, right? So I don't mind it. So what I'm trying to say here is that if you delay this thing, you buy time, so you have a chance you may get a chance to find a antivirus. That's one important reason to buy time. Another important reason is to raise awareness, because there are lots of people who they heard of the disease, but they don't know what's going on exactly. They kind of, especially those who are in the countryside, deep in the country or something. Some people also, there are people who think, oh yeah, the media exaggerates stuff, so they are not being touched. They did not have the visuals. They haven't seen what happens in a hospital with those in a critical condition. So those are taking this one too lightly. So they don't really push their personal hygiene. They don't stop connecting with people. And I know that for a fact. And I lived in such a community where people don't give a crap about other people and about how to say it, protecting others. So it's all about them. And so if you, let's say, if you delay in larger countries, people have some time to learn some stories, and they look at China, and the media propagates this big, huge news and some images, and it gives higher chance to those news to reach the ignorant and those who don't care about health, overloading healthcare system, about protecting others, about personal hygiene. And you will still see people spitting on the floor. Today I spoke to someone about hockey. They said, yeah, hockey players, it's a part of their habits, spit on the ice or spit on the floor, rinse the mouth, drink some water, rinse the mouth and spit on the floor. And guess what? People pick up the puck, the hockey puck from the ground, with a bare hand, especially the referees or whoever is on the ice at the time, or they carry the puck around. So and they are not stupid people. Lots of hockey players are smart guys, but it happens in many places, different. Not only in sports, but in industrial facilities and stuff. People help the virus with their old habits. So it takes some time. Probably months, until people start copying other people, because this following attitude works in our favor. So if people who look around and they see, oh, everyone wear mask, everyone washes their hands. Okay, well, I don't want to look stupid. I'm going to wash the hands because that's the new normal. And they should do that through leaders. They should show up. Prime Minister of Canada goes on TV and wears a mask, whatever. Wash his hands while he's on the speech or something. I don't know, some suggestive stuff. Or get Justin Bieber showing on TV. Singing with a mask or something, so followers will follow, and they say, what, that's normal. If the leader does that, I'll do the same thing. So the way they have campaigns anti-smoking, with big celebrities doing stuff, helping people to stop smoking, or talking about drugs and alcohol and stuff, the same thing can do now to promote personal hygiene and change people's behavior. So that's really important to buy time. That's the reason of importance of buying time, because it takes some time, take a couple of months until this information and the new concept and new behavior is being shared around and being propagated. And now the followers and people and ignorance and the rednecks and those who don't give a crap, they would start copying, right? So people would not just, tomorrow I'm going to start washing my hands, because it's a habit. It's a habit of not washing the hands, or not thinking when you spit on the ground, and when you start doing stuff that you normally do, you think is normal, but now it's not normal, because you need to protect other people. So that's my long talk, 29 minutes, 30 minutes. Yeah, okay, that's my average. So let you go, and stay safe. And what can I say? the way it comes, the way it goes. Some people wear masks even while shopping, but not too many. So life is good. Bye bye.